Hi everyone, welcome back to another Let's Chat video. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about fantasy world building. As an artist that loves environmental design and concept art, obviously it is important to know how to effectively build worlds. So when I was researching online, it was so easy to find tips on how to build worlds as a writer. So it was kind of disheartening to not see much tips from the perspective of an artist. After thinking it over quite a bit, I realized that these tips for world building as writers do have some bearing on how artists should approach it. I mean, if you think about it, as an artist, just like writers, you are telling a story or you're trying to tell a story. The only difference is that artists aren't really using words for the most part. We use pictures and other symbols. So if you think about it that way, you can definitely use the same tips writers use to create your own magical fantasy world. Before you start drawing anything, you first need to brainstorm the rules that will govern your world. As a writer, you may probably want to start thinking about the conflict in the story. But for me, I don't necessarily do that. It could help that you have a conflict in mind as an artist. It may help to set the mood for the piece you are trying to create. When you come up with a conflict, it doesn't have to be super detailed either. I mean, as an artist, unless you're trying to create an actual story, like a comic or a visual novel. You could have something like X group of people are dealing in human trafficking, and so the government created a suppression group to deal with these crimes. So some simple conflict, nothing too detailed, something that would just spur on the creativity. So based on this premise, you probably wouldn't create a world with a cheerful atmosphere. So the conflict can help to dictate how you come up with worlds. In terms of this piece that I'm currently painting, it actually has a well thought out story for the most part behind it. So I already decided the conflict in the world. I said it in another video that this world has a really harsh status system, and this really weird tower structure is actually a place where the upper class society lives. In this world, due to some weird biological explosion of sorts, the world below the tower has a really harsh living conditions. So everyone really wants to live in that tower. That disparity causes me to feel really terrible. So I wanted to reflect a similar mood in the piece. This will definitely greatly affect the color choices as well. Right now I'm doing a value sketch thing for a piece, but I'm just showing you the process in this video. Okay, so the things I believe is most important when coming up with creative ideas about your world is deciding just regular things about it. One thing we should understand is that just because it's fantasy, it doesn't mean your world should be illogical or incoherent. There should be some defined logic to your world. So you should ask questions like, what kind of persons live in this world? What races are present, if that's important. What is the main source of food, What is the society? How is the society divided? What happened in the past that led up to this point? So I know in my story, like I said before, some great destruction happened to cause the world to look this particular way. No, I mean, you're probably not going to see how the world looks, but in my head, that's the premise I'm doing all the pieces around this story on, all the world building pieces in relation to this world. That's the premise I'm coming from, that anything below the tower has a hint of destructive element to it, So yeah, answering these questions can really help build a world of ideas in your mind. I mean, if you decided that people who live in this world are of an alien race that has some sensitivity to light, then you would automatically start to think of an environment that provides a space suitable for these people to live. So it probably be pretty dark, and everything there would be facilitating protection from the light. Yeah. So I believe that doing this, answering these questions, pushes you to think of new and interesting ideas, because you're forced to solve design problems that were created when you establish the rules of this world. All that is left for you to do is to use these established premises to dictate what you sketch. And if you want to build a world, you can't only work with one sketch. Do multiple sketches. Sometimes you may have some happy accidents with one sketch that really works well with a part of another sketch. Then you can combine ideas together and just keep reworking until you come up with a really solid concept for your worlds. I have said this before. Take a step back from your sketches, then come back to it with a fresh perspective, a new perspective. You can also share your ideas with a trusted friend. They could give you some unusual ideas. I think creating fantasy worlds is a progress that includes trying over and over again, like most things do, until you come up with something unique enough that the viewer of your work is so mesmerized with it enough to want to go there. I mean, I want to create a world that people would want to somehow go there and wish that it was real. So that is something I'm currently working towards ensuring that my work is so captivating that when others look at it, they're just so enthralled. Wait, is enthralled the word? But they just would love what they see. And that is what I really want my work to bring across, because there's some environmental pieces especially that I see and I wish it were real, and that's the kind of feeling I want other people to have when they look at my work. So I do know that it will take a lot of reworking to get there. So while I'm establishing a lot of pieces for my world building, I do know that maybe I'll do some things over, rework some stuff because they might not make any sense, and that's okay. It's all a part of the process. It takes time. So you might do some detailed piece and then you realize that, hey, that wasn't really working in this world, and you have to do something over using some elements of that piece, but you'd have to do it over anyway, and that's all right. And I'm aware that that may happen. So you just need to be open to change, be open to suggestions from others, suggestions from the world around you, and that's the best way to create something unusual but something logical, something captivating, something beautiful. Yeah, so thank you guys for watching today's video. I hope it helped in some way. If you have any world building tips, please leave them in the comment section below. Remember to like and subscribe by clicking the bell icon to get notifications whenever I upload a video. If you like this type of content, that is, by the way. I mean, if you don't, then you don't have to like or subscribe. Well, that is all for now. So please see... Wait, what? Wait, no. That is all for now. So I'll see you next time. Goodbye, guys.